Local actor Cody Mafatu Easterbrook is having a moment. It seems like every time you turn on the TV, he's in another commercial, including spots for Remington College, one of our sponsors. He even did a Meadow Gold commercial with a milk waterfall right here at Waimea Valley. But Cody has also worked alongside major movie stars such as Bill Murray, Bradley Cooper, Emma Stone, and Amy Schumer. So who is this guy?
If I look familiar to you, it may be because you recognize me from television. I'm an actor, a model, a television host, coming from Hawaii and living in Laie, the North Shore of Oahu. I come from a Mormon background, and I served a Mormon mission in South America where I learned Spanish, and that has helped me in my career as I've played various different roles, such as a Latino, and my mom is actually Samoan Hawaiian, so having that background mixed with my European father, basically I can take on different roles. I can become a chameleon, as my agent says. So growing up the youngest of 6 kids, I knew very quickly how to get attention. I was that kid in high school who was in all the plays. When I was young, my father gave me a video camera, and with that video camera, I roped all the neighborhood kids into creating this vision, these imaginative stories and short films that I would film. I was homeschooled until I was introduced to a production-based high school in the mainland where we were trained in the skills of television production. Growing up, I definitely knew that I wanted to work in television in some aspect. I thought it would be as a reporter, but as I was introduced to more the creative side of the industry, I knew that I had to be an actor. I knew that that was where the creativity lies, and that was where you could tell stories, become different characters, and basically get paid to play pretend. And throughout my career, I've had amazing opportunities, both in commercials and in television and in film, and I've been able to work with some pretty incredible actors and actresses. I've worked with Bill Murray, Bradley Cooper, Emma Stone, worked with director Cameron Crowe, and recently alongside Amy Schumer. And all of these experiences, there's certain moments where you're placed in front of a camera and you're in a scene and you see that slate marker and you hear the director say action, and you know, this is happening. We're really doing this. One of the cooler experiences that I really loved was working with Amy Schumer. She's a comedy genius, and in our scene together, as soon as we got started, it was apparent that she quickly went off script. And I just went off script right there with her, and we improv'd our entire scene. When the director yelled cut, he came up to us and said, "I don't know what that was, but can you do it again?" I loved it. So moments like that, when you are getting to improv with these comedic legends and these famous actors and actresses that you grew up watching on television or that you've just aspired to be like, and you're in a scene with them, it's moments where you just kind of have to pinch yourself and say, is this really happening? So when I finished high school, I came back home to Hawaii to go to school at BYU Hawaii, and one of my first roles after I graduated from college was on a Grey's Anatomy spin-off called Off the Map. And that was the role where, having served a mission in South America, learning Spanish, it really came in handy because my very first speaking role on television was actually in Spanish. And that was really cool to be able to work on this Grey's Anatomy spin-off where I'm running into surgery and there's blood squirting out of the fake body and I'm putting on gloves and hopping into the action. And that was my first taste of working in Hollywood, and I said, that was fun. How can I do more? And I got an agent, I began working, I began auditioning, and most importantly, I began booking. One of the biggest pieces of advice that I can give to aspiring actors is to stay here in this Hawaii market is really vital. We are a scenic location that can double as anywhere in the world. You can be Africa, you can be the Amazons, you can be the Middle East. And the beautiful part about being an actor here in Hawaii is it's a smaller market. There's not a lot of competition, but there is a lot of opportunity to make yourself a name. When you're booking everything here, then start to segue into LA. And by having representation, an agent both here in Hawaii and in LA, you open yourself up to a bigger market with a lot more opportunities. Of course, there is a lot of competition in LA. So if you're an actor, you need to get well acquainted with rejection. And it doesn't mean anything against you, it just means you're not the perfect fit and somebody else is. The way I look at it, As an industry, I show up and I go to work. I treat every audition like a job. You go on the job, you go and audition, you treat it as a mini performance, you deliver, and then it's out of sight, out of mind. You don't hang on to it, you move on to the next thing. That way, when your agent calls and said, "Congratulations, you booked it," you're like, "Wait, which one? Oh, that's right, I did audition for that." That's awesome. So once you've gotten your feet wet in the local market, there is a different pay scale once you work on a national market. For example, a local commercial here in Hawaii, you don't get residuals, you're paid up front, they'll buy you out with a contract for a couple of years, TV, web, or internet. And of course, the moneymaker, though, is booking that national commercial, that campaign that pays you residuals, that has a higher paycheck, and of course, a higher viewer audience, which gets your name out there and gets you ready for more bigger scale project. So working in an industry where there are very few Mormons, such as myself, I mean, we've got what, Ryan Gosling, Katherine Heigl, and everybody's heard of the Osmonds. But yeah, it's different because everybody knows Mormons to be wholesome, good-natured people who don't say bad words. And on occasion, I have read a script where there are some choice language, but I look at it as I am an actor, I'm portraying a role, and that's my job. Just as a sign language interpreter would interpret whatever somebody else is saying, I'm just giving voice to a character. I'm becoming different characters. And honestly, it's really eye-opening to allow yourself to become different characters, to open yourself up to different ideas, and it honestly helps you to relate to a greater cross-section of people. I was on an audition recently and the director said, "Why acting?" And I said, "Excuse me?" And he said, "Why acting?" And I had to think for a moment, and I literally came up with the answer, and it just kind of fell off my tongue. But as I heard it coming out of my mouth, I was like, yeah, that is why I do acting. It allows you to step into somebody else's shoes, to walk a few steps in their shoes, and to understand how different people experience life. Well, I just wrapped on a on a Japanese remake of 50 First Dates. Honestly, I can't write this stuff. It's literally the Brad and Angelina of Japan doing 50 First Dates word for word, and I got to play 10-Second Tom, the guy who only has a memory for about 10 seconds. Hi, I'm Tom. And yeah, that was super fun to work on because everybody loves that movie, and who knew they were making it for Japan. But yeah, I've got a lot of great projects coming up. I shot a few pilots this year, and we'll see if any of those make it to the big screen. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm hustling, and tune in. You'll see me on a television screen or movie screen near you.